It was a world changer. I literally, 2015, the end of January, we just moved into our own apartment from being in a homeless shelter to June of 2015 having to deal with losing not only somebody I spent the last 10 years of my life with, but also the father of my children. So I had to readjust and learn how to live life the best that I could without him.
And how are you managing?
It's not easy. It's not easy. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him. There's nothing my kids can do in life that I'm not thinking about. Their father would never be here to see this. And it hurts. It hurts for me. So Friday, June 8th, I actually make 3 years. And it was right in the afternoon. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was actually at work. And my friend had got a call that somebody had been shooting in Evanston. They think somebody might have got killed. I didn't drive to work that day. My mom actually picked me up from work. And we rode down Emerson past where it happened. And I get home and my phone rings. And they're like, have you talked to Ray? I was like, no, why? They're like, they're saying he was shot and killed. I was like, no, I haven't heard that.
And you had really driven past it?
I literally just drove past. And the police were still out there. Everything was still taped off. The truck was still there. Like I said, didn't even think anything about it because that morning he had just came to my house at 6 o'clock that morning. We talked. He was messing with the kids, and I was like, don't wake them up because they'll be stuck with you for today. And then he left. Like I said, I went to work, got the phone call, we rode past, got home, I got the other phone call. So then I'm like, let me call him. And I'm steadily trying to call him, and it's going to voicemail. My heart sunk, and I'm like, this is not like him. And I ran over to Fleetwood, where Pastor Cherry was the director, and he's my pastor. And I'm like, I knew he worked with the police. I was like, have you heard anything about this? And he was like, let me see what I can find out for you. So by that time, like my mom, I'm going crazy. My mom's like driving me from hospital to hospital, place to place. And I finally get down here to the Evanston Police Department. I knew then that it was true. And they pulled me into the room we were just in. So we've been together 10 years. Yeah, 10 years, and we have 3 kids together.
What did it feel like when you found out?
It was a world changer, having to deal with losing not only somebody I spent the last 10 years of my life with, but also the father of my children. So I had to readjust and learn how to live life the best that I could without him. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him. There's nothing my kids can do in life that I'm not thinking about. Their father would never be here to see this. It's hard to see my oldest son, his oldest son, my 9-year-old playing sports and excelling in school and just doing everything that boys should do, and seeing all these other boys with their father and his isn't there.
And what do you hope for your kids?
I hope for my kids to not let this situation hinder them. I hope that they go on and possibly change the world. I honestly believe that my kids can change the world. I hope that they go on to become whatever it is that they want to be in life. And that the fact that their dad wasn't there doesn't stop them.
And do you miss your dad?
Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing about him?
My favorite thing about him, that every time when like we're trying to do something, he helps us every time when we're trying to do something.
You've been enormously affected personally. Do you think his shooting also affects everybody else?
I think it affects a lot of people. One, because I grew up in Evanston, So when people see, a lot of people know me and they know that I'm affected, so that affects them. And it bothers them because they see my kids in the community and they're like, that sucks. Like, especially like my church family, a lot of them are like, it affected them because I am a big part of the church, and like to see my children and to know like that they had to go through this at such a young age. My youngest son had just turned 1 in May. So she was 2 and my oldest, he's 9 now, so he was like 5 at the time. My oldest is Ray, he's named after his dad. Then my daughter is Raylan.
Oh, wow.
And my youngest is Reagan. I love that man. I loved him, and you know, that was our life. Like when we talked about having children, he's like, you know, his dad was killed. His dad
the same way?
Mm-hmm, his dad was shot and killed. So he was young, so he didn't have his father, and my father wasn't around. So when we talked about having kids, we wanted different for our children. We wanted different. We wanted our children to know both of their parents. He was gonna be that dad, like, and it didn't happen. It couldn't happen.
And do you think that a person who takes up a gun and ends somebody else's life, do you think that they're a victim as well?
I don't know if I would say a victim, but there's definitely something self-rooted. There's some type of issue there that someone feels the need to take someone else's life. And I think we also have to get to a place where we're no longer quiet about it. This happened at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It rained lightly, but it was nice out that day. So someone, I feel like, seen something or knows something.
It was the first time that his oldest, Ray, was riding the school bus home. And he was waiting, sitting there, minding his own business, waiting on him. This is his first time on the school bus by himself.
Was it a retaliation for something? You know, was there something?
So I don't know. Ray could be a flashy type person. By far, he wasn't a perfect person.
Right.
By far, he wasn't perfect. But show me somebody that is. And it bothers me the most because it happened in Evanston. It happened in a place where, at the time, I was 29. I spent 29 years of my life in this area that it happened. So to know him is to know me. And to know that somebody that I know would do something like that bothers me. And it hurts. It bothers me daily. Daily. Especially that if anyone knows anything, to say something. To say something, that's it. There's nothing that can't be solved without talking to somebody. And even if you agree to disagree and you go your separate ways, y'all walk past each other, if you see each other the next day and don't speak, you're both still here living. There's nothing that shooting someone, whether it's shooting and killing them or just shooting them, it doesn't solve anything at all. It doesn't. And it leaves families hurt, it leaves communities hurt.
What's your favorite thing to do? What's your talent?
My favorite thing to do is dance.
Part of the reason I'm not even working full time next year because I have yet to deal with his death, I feel like, properly. I've been working. I have to work full time because I have 3 kids to take care of. Like, I can't talk about it. It's been 3 years without crying. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it or I'm not angry about it. There was a point in time where I wanted to check myself into the hospital because I just wanted to run away from it all.
And did you check yourself into hospital?
I did. My friend wouldn't let me, and you know, she was there, and my mom was there for me, and my pastor came to my aid, and it was like, you're gonna get through this. But I get to those points often, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I shouldn't have to do this. I didn't sign up to do this. This is not what I signed up for. If I have the time off, I can look into some stuff. My youngest child will be seeing one soon. His birthday passed and he had to bring in pictures, and his dad is a part of his family, so I put a picture of him on there. And you know, the next couple of days he's crying and he's like, I want my dad to come out of heaven. I want my dad to come get me. You know, he was just crying. So I want him to, and he was 1 at the time, so he doesn't remember him, but he knows who he is. We have pictures of him up. We ride by the cemetery often, and we always say, "I love you, Dad," and I take him up there for birthdays.